Level 1. The Prospect. You are 19 years old. You are sitting on a heated Recaro seat on the bench. You are wearing a neon warm-up bib over a jersey that doesn't have a single speck of dirt on it. 4 years ago, you watched these exact men lift the 1/8 karat gold trophy on a television in your parents' living room. You had posters of them taped to your bedroom wall. Now, you share a locker room with them. You share a five-star hotel with them. You share the crushing expectations of an entire nation with them. You just don't share the minutes. You are here to learn. That is what the manager told the press. You are the future, but the present is collapsing right in front of your eyes. It is the 78th minute of the final group stage match. A draw sends you through to the knockouts. A loss sends you home in disgrace. The scoreboard reads 1-0 to the opponent. The opponent was supposed to be a warm-up game, a team of mechanics, students, and part-time accountants playing with house money. Instead, they are running through your midfield like water through a broken dam. You watch the captain, your childhood idol, misplace a simple 5-yard pass into touch. You watch the veteran center back, a man with 3 Champions League medals, get completely outpaced by a 2-year-old playing in a second division. The stadium is a wall of deafening, hostile noise, but your bench is completely silent. The assistant manager is staring blankly at an iPad. The expected goals, the XG stat, reads 0.14 for your side. You haven't had a shot on target in over an hour. You look down the touchline. The manager isn't yelling anymore. He is standing absolutely still with his hands shoved deep in his pockets. That stillness terrifies you more than the yelling ever did. You start stretching your hamstrings, hoping to hear your name. You want to save them. You want to be the hero who turns the tide. But you know you won't be called. They don't trust a teenager to resuscitate a dying dynasty. The final whistle blows. The sound feels physical. It hits your chest like a blunt object. The cameras instantly swarm the pitch. They don't swarm you. You are a ghost. You pull the neon bib up over your face to hide your expression. You step onto the pitch to console men who earn $400, 000 a week. Men who are currently collapsing onto the manicured grass, weeping uncontrollably into their hands. You pat their shoulders. You feel their bodies shaking through the sweat-soaked fabric. The illusion of their invincibility is permanently shattered. The gold champion's crest on your chest feels like a lead weight pulling you into the soil. You walk down the tunnel. The silence in the concrete hallway is heavy, thick, suffocating. You pull out your phone. The notifications are a blur of pure, unadulterated rage. An entire country is waking up in the middle of the night just to scream at their televisions. You haven't played a single minute of this tournament. It doesn't matter. You are part of the failure now. You carry the stain just like the rest of them. You sit at your locker and take off the clean jersey. You fold it. You wonder if the public will ever let you wear it again. The chartered flight home is 12 hours long. Nobody speaks a single word. You stare out the window into the pitch-black sky. You thought you were arriving at the peak of the mountain. You didn't realize you were brought in to bury the bodies. Level 2. The engine room. You are 26 years old. You are the heartbeat of this team. Or you were. Right now, your heart is beating at 192 beats per minute, and it feels like it might tear through your ribs. It is the 62nd minute. The tactical plan dissolved 40 minutes ago. You are playing in a double pivot, but your midfield partner is carrying a knock and walking, leaving you to cover the space of 3 men. The data from the GPS vest under your jersey says you have already covered 10.5 kilometers. Your legs feel like wet cement. You took 2 Toradol injections in the dressing room just to get your right knee to bend. The painkiller is wearing off. Every time you plant your studs into the turf, a sharp electric shock fires up your femur. You ignore it. You have to ignore it. You step up to trigger the press on the opponent's holding midfielder. You are a fraction of a second late. He drops his shoulder, slips the ball past your outstretched leg, and suddenly 3 attackers are running at your exposed backline in a lethal transition. You turn to sprint back, but your hamstring bites. A micro tear. You keep running anyway, dragging your leg, gasping for air that tastes like copper. They score. You stand in the center circle waiting for the restart. You look at the giant stadium screen. You see your own face. You are pale, drenched in sweat, eyes completely hollow. You don't recognize that man. You look to the sidelines. The manager is frantic, screaming about defensive shape and shifting the low block. The words are just noise. The tactical structure is dead. It died the moment panic set in. You are the core midfielder. You are supposed to dictate the tempo. You are supposed to find the passing lanes. But every time you receive the ball, there are no options. Just isolated teammates standing still, paralyzed by the fear of making a mistake. So you force a progressive pass. It gets intercepted. The crowd groans. That collective groan is a physical weight pushing down on your shoulders. Your transfer value was €85 million this morning. The pre-contract agreement you had with a massive Premier League club, the one your agent has been negotiating for 6 months, you can feel that contract dissolving with every misplaced pass. The final whistle blows. You drop to your knees. The physical pain in your knee is suddenly dwarfed by a sprawling, cavernous emptiness in your chest. You stagger into the dressing room. You pull out your phone. 4 missed calls from your agent. A text from your fiancé. Don't look at social media. Just call me when you land. You look at social media. They are already posting compilations of your mistakes. They are calling you washed. They are calling you a fraud. They are saying you care more about your massive club salary than the national crest. You lock the screen. You sit on the bench, unlacing your boots with trembling, taped fingers. You played 90 minutes on a torn hamstring and gave them everything you had. They despise you for it. You are physically and mentally broken. And your domestic club season starts in exactly 3 weeks. You don't know how you are going to walk tomorrow, let alone run. Level 3, the scapegoat. You are 23 years old. You are the poster boy. Your face is on 50-foot billboards across the capital. You are the $120 million winger with the custom boots and the trademark celebration. It is the 89th minute. VAR has just intervened. The referee points to the spot. Penalty. The score is 1-0. If you score, you survive the group stage. If you miss, the empire falls. The XG of a penalty is 0.79. It is a mathematical probability that heavily favors you. You demand the ball. You are the talisman. This is what you were born to do. You place the ball on the spot. The turf is slick. Green laser pointers from the ultras in the upper deck dance erratically across your retinas. You take 4 steps back. You take a deep breath. You visualize the bottom right corner. The referee blows his whistle. You begin your run-up. You execute your trademark stutter step. The keeper commits early, diving the wrong way. The entire net is gaping, empty, waiting. You strike through the ball with your laces. Thwack. The sound of synthetic leather hitting the aluminum crossbar echoes through the stadium. The ball rockets high into the stands. You don't process it immediately. Your brain refuses to accept the physics of what just happened. You drop to your knees. The final whistle blows 90 seconds later. You are lying face down in the grass. You feel the heavy vibration of the opposition players celebrating, jumping, sprinting past your head. You do not want to stand up. Standing up means entering a new reality where you are no longer a god. You are the man who killed the defending champions. You walk down the tunnel. You are radioactive. Your teammates step around you, keeping a wide berth. The silence is broken only by the clattering of studs on concrete. You reach your locker. Your hands are shaking so violently you can barely unlock your phone. You open Instagram. 150,000 new comments in 12 minutes. You read the first 5. They are not critiques of your technique. They are death threats. They are pictures of your front door. They are explicit coordinates to your parents' address. They are videos of grown men burning your jersey in the town square. Your phone vibrates in your hand. It is your agent. The public relations team from your primary boot sponsor is already discussing morality clauses and suspending your upcoming global commercial campaign. Your brand value is evaporating in real time. You walk into the showers fully kitted. You turn the water on ice cold. You sit on the tile floor in your boots, your socks, your grass-stained shorts. The water mixes with your tears. You are 23 years old. Your career is not over, but your life as you knew it ended when that ball hit the crossbar. You will carry this miss like a tumor for the rest of your life. Every away stadium you visit for the next decade will sing songs about this exact moment. You are the scapegoat. The sacrifice. The meal they will feast on to avoid looking at the systemic failure of the entire machine. Level 4. The shield. You are 33 years old. The elastic of the captain's armband is cutting into your bicep. You sit in the center of the dressing room. It looks like a morgue. The young winger is sobbing uncontrollably in the showers. The manager is locked in the coach's office, completely silent. Half the squad is staring blankly at the floor. The other half is glaring at the winger's empty locker. Factions are forming in real time. You can physically feel the squad fracturing along club affiliations, age gaps, and ego boundaries. 4 years ago, this room was an unbreakable brotherhood. Now, it is a crime scene, and everyone is frantically looking for someone else to hold the murder weapon. The national team press officer taps your shoulder. He looks terrified, sweating through his tailored suit. Someone has to face the media. The manager is refusing to come out. The winger is having a panic attack. The vice captain is suddenly pretending to require intensive ultrasound therapy on the physio table. It has to be you. You are the captain. You have 114 caps for your country. You earned the right to lift the gold, which means you are legally obligated to bury the bodies. You nod. You don't say a word. You peel off your sweat-drenched match jersey and pull on a clean, heavily sponsored track jacket. The metal zipper feels unusually heavy against your throat. You walk down the concrete corridor toward the mix zone. You can hear them before you see them. The low, buzzing hum of 200 global journalists sharpening their knives. You step onto the raised platform. The camera flashes erupt like a strobe light in a pitch-black room. They blind you. You sit down behind a cheap plastic folding table covered in 50 different network microphones. The microphones look exactly like a firing squad. The first question is not a question. It is an indictment. How do you justify this national embarrassment? You lean into the microphone. You deliver the sterile, PR-approved lines. We take full responsibility. We failed to execute the tactical plan. We apologize to the traveling fans. They don't want apologies. They want a sacrifice. They ask about the manager's catastrophic low block. They ask about the winger's missed penalty. They ask if the golden generation was just a fluke, an overhyped anomaly. They are practically begging you to throw a teammate under the bus. They need a viral soundbite. They need a headline to print on tomorrow's front pages in thick, black, apocalyptic font. You don't give it to them. You absorb the bullets. You deflect the blame away from the 2-3-year-old kid and drag it directly onto your own shoulders. You say your leadership was lacking. You say you failed to organize the defensive transition. You lie through your teeth to protect a group of men who are currently hiding from the world. The press conference lasts 14 minutes. It ages you 5 years. You step off the podium. You did your job. You protected the shield. But as you walk back down the lonely tunnel to the silent dressing room, your chest tightens with a sickening realization. You shielded them from the press today, but you cannot shield them from history. This collapse belongs to you now. Your Wikipedia page will not open with the trophy you lifted 4 years ago. It will open with this night, forever tied to the heavy fabric wrapped around your left arm. Level 5. The Legend. You are 36 years old. You are sitting alone in the anti-doping control room deep in the bowels of the stadium. You are waiting to produce a urine sample into a plastic cup while the rest of the squad boards the bus. The room smells like bleach and sterile gloves. You have a massive ice pack strapped to your lower back and another wrapped tightly around your left Achilles. 4 years ago, you were the tournament MVP. You were the golden boy of the golden generation. You were immortal. Tonight, you were a liability. You felt it explicitly in the 34th minute. A loose ball sat between you and their 1-year-old overlapping fullback. Your brain sent the signal to sprint. Your legs simply did not respond. The explosive burst of acceleration that defined your entire career is gone. It didn't fade gradually. It died tonight, on this pitch, under the floodlights, in front of 1 billion people. Your sports science data has been warning you for 18 months. Your VO2 max is dropping. Your recovery time has doubled. You require 3 days of hyperbaric oxygen therapy and cryotherapy just to walk normally after a high-intensity match. Your domestic club has been quietly stalling on a 1-year contract extension, citing wage structure optimization. They know the truth. You are just now admitting it to yourself. You are finished. You hand the plastic cup to the doping official. You sign the paperwork without making eye contact. You walk out into the empty concrete tunnel. The massive stadium above you is completely silent now. The cleaning crews are already sweeping up the discarded beer cups and the green and yellow confetti that was preemptively loaded into the cannons for your victory parade. You stop walking. You lean your forehead against the cold cinder block wall. It hits you all at once. The crushing, absolute finality of it. You will never hear a World Cup anthem while standing in a starting 11 again. You will never feel that specific, terrifying, electric current of a knockout match. You look down at your legs. The scars from 2 major reconstructive surgeries look like jagged train tracks crossing your knees. You traded your cartilage for gold 4 years ago, and now the ultimate bill is due. The media will not be kind tomorrow. They will not write about your historic legacy. They will write savage op-eds about how you stayed one tournament too long. They will say you tarnished your own myth because your ego refused to accept basic biology. You slide your back down the rough wall until you are sitting on the dirty concrete floor. You pull your knees to your chest. You weep. You don't cry the performative, dramatic tears of the young winger out on the pitch. You weep with the deep, guttural, silent grief of a man mourning his own death. Athletes die twice, and you are currently experiencing the first one. You are a legend. Your name is etched into the history books in permanent ink. But right now, sitting in a dark, humid tunnel, you are just an old man in a young man's game, waiting for a bus that is leaving you behind. Level 6, the tactician. You are 54 years old. You are standing in the sterile, fluorescent-lit hallway outside the dressing room. You haven't gone inside yet. You can't. You cannot look them in the eye. 4 years ago, the global press called you a visionary. You revolutionized the national tactical identity. You implemented the inverted fullbacks, the relentless counterpress, the fluid false nine system that suffocated the greatest defenses on earth. They built a bronze statue of you outside the National Training Center. They gave you a knighthood. Tonight, you look like a dinosaur. The opposition manager, a 38-year-old laptop coach who never played a minute of professional football, dismantled your life's work in 90 minutes. He identified the structural flaw in your rest defense. He exploited the half spaces behind your high line. He neutralized your double pivot. You had no plan B. You froze on the touchline. You watched the tactical collapse in high definition, and your brain went completely blank. You were outthought, outmaneuvered, and publicly humiliated. Footsteps echo down the concrete corridor. Heavy, rapid footsteps. It is the Football Association president, flanked by 2 senior board members. They are walking fast. They are not making eye contact. They don't invite you into a private office. They don't offer you the dignity of a closed door. They stop you right there in the hallway, next to a stack of industrial laundry bins overflowing with dirty towels. The president speaks in a hushed, terrified whisper. The board held an emergency WhatsApp vote in the VIP box during the 85th minute. The political pressure from the government and the sponsors is catastrophic. Your position is immediately untenable. They are triggering the termination clause in your contract, effective as of this exact second. They are leaking the decision to Fabrizio Romano and the athletic press in exactly 4 minutes to control the midnight news cycle and save their own skins. You are sacked. You don't argue. There is no negotiation. Your lawyers will handle the €8 million buyout clause, but the money is irrelevant. The money is just a golden parachute for a dead man. You take off your official track jacket. You run your thumb over the thick, raised lettering of the national crest and the textured sponsor logo one last time. You hand it to the kit man like a prisoner surrendering contraband. You are instructed not to board the team bus. You are escorted out the back entrance of the stadium by local police, bypassing the mixed zone, bypassing the players you mentored, bypassing the wreckage you created. Your phone lights up. It is your wife. There are already 3 news vans parked on your front lawn. Anonymous fans are throwing trash over your security gates. Your tactical philosophy, the methodology you spent 30 grueling years developing in the lower leagues, will be mathematically dissected and ridiculed on morning television by pundits who couldn't organize a youth training session. You sit in the back of an unmarked black car speeding away from the stadium. You watch the towering, glowing floodlights fade in the rearview mirror. You were the architect of a dynasty. Now, you are the blueprint for absolute failure. You are unemployed, permanently disgraced, and fading into the dark. Level 7. The Executive. You are 61 years old. You are standing behind the reinforced, soundproof glass of the VIP hospitality suite. You are looking down at the pitch, but you don't see grass. You see a 400 euros million deficit. The corporate vultures are already circling. The representative from your primary kit sponsor the massive conglomerate that pays 50 euros million a year to ensure their specific raised. Textured logo is pressed onto the chest of the national uniform, left the suite at halftime. They didn't shake your hand. They didn't say goodbye. You know exactly what that means. The brand activation campaigns are dead. The morality clauses are being reviewed by corporate lawyers in a skyscraper 3 time zones away. Your phone is vibrating so violently it is burning a hole in your tailored trousers. The domestic broadcast rights renegotiations were scheduled for next month. You had supreme leverage. You had a defending world champion. Now, you have a national embarrassment that couldn't survive the group stage. The broadcasting consortium will slaughter you in the boardroom. They will demand a 30% reduction in the television deal. That reduction means youth academies will close. That means grassroots funding will evaporate. That means the entire financial pyramid of the country's footballing infrastructure is going to collapse on your watch. The Minister of Sport is calling. You let it go to voicemail. He wants a public execution. The government needs to distract the working class from the failing economy, and a football tragedy is the perfect smokescreen. If you don't provide a sacrifice, the state will take your head instead. You already provided one. You authorized the manager's sacking via a panicked WhatsApp vote 5 minutes ago. He was a close friend. You attended his daughter's wedding. You just fed him to the wolves in a concrete hallway to save your own skin. You feel a brief, sickening wave of nausea, but you swallow it down. Survival in this specific building requires a sociopathic level of detachment. The executive board is gathering in the mahogany boardroom back in the Capitol in exactly 6 hours. You know they are already whispering in encrypted group chats. A vote of no confidence is being drafted by your vice president. He is a man who has smiled to your face and poured your wine for a decade, waiting patiently for you to bleed. You pour a heavy measure of scotch from the crystal decanter on the hospitality bar. Your hands are trembling. Your doctor warned you about your blood pressure last month. He told you the stress is eating a hole directly through your stomach lining. You ignore the pain in your abdomen. You are the president of the Football Association. You control the beautiful game. But right now, you are just a desperate politician standing inside a burning stadium, calculating exactly which bridge you need to blow up to stop the fire from reaching your office. Level 8. The Exiled Pundit. You are 45 years old. You are sitting behind a curved glass desk in a television broadcast studio in a foreign country. The air conditioning is freezing. You have a heavy layer of matte makeup caked onto your face to hide the deep, dark bags under your eyes and the gray creeping into your beard. You adjust the lapel of your tailored suit. You force the network's wardrobe department to keep the original designer logos intact on your jacket, making sure the specific raised text and textured embroidery sit prominently on your breast pocket. It projects an image of untouchable wealth and control. It is an absolute lie. You are watching a monitor. The current national team is playing a World Cup qualifier. They are young, they are fast. They play with a reckless, unburdened joy that makes your stomach turn. They do not carry the stain, you do. It has been 12 years since the collapse. You retired 2 years after that night in disgrace. The country never forgave you. When you go back to the Capitol, you wear a hat and sunglasses. You don't go to public restaurants. The taxi drivers still recognize you, and the silence in the back of the cab is always hostile. You had to move abroad just to breathe without being evaluated. The producer's voice crackles in your earpiece, going to you in 10 seconds. We need a breakdown on the tactical shape, but lean into the mentality. Remind them of the stakes. You nod. The red tally, light on camera, 3 blinks on. You look directly into the lens. You break down the current team's rest defense. You analyze the XG buildup. You use the modern jargon. But the host doesn't want tactical analysis. The host wants blood. He pivots the conversation. He asks you, on live television, if this current squad has the mental fragility that plagued your generation. He brings up the night you were eliminated. He brings it up every single time you are on air. It is the only reason the network pays you the massive contract. You are not here for your footballing intellect. You are here to be the living, breathing ghost of failure. You are a cautionary tale in a bespoke suit. You swallow hard. Your throat is dry. You look at the former players sitting next to you on the panel. One is a World Cup winner from a rival nation. He looks at you with a subtle, quiet pity. That pity is worse than the death threats you received a decade ago. You answer the host's question. You string together cliches about pressure and the weight of the jersey. You smile for the camera. The segment ends. We go to commercial. You rip the earpiece out of your ear and walk off the set before the director even calls clear. You lock yourself in your dressing room. You pour a glass of sparkling water and stare at yourself in the vanity mirror. You are paid €1 million a year to talk about a game you used to love. But every time you open your mouth, you are just reopening a wound that refuses to heal. Level 9. The Forgotten Myth. You are 72 years old. You are sitting in a leather armchair in a house that is entirely too large and entirely too quiet. The cartilage in both of your knees was surgically replaced a decade ago, but the dull, throbbing ache never truly left. It is the permanent tax on a body that was pushed past its biological limits for the entertainment of millions. You walk with a heavy limp. You move slowly across the Persian rug to the mahogany display cabinet in your study. You unlock the glass door with a small brass key. Inside, resting on a bed of faded velvet, is the 1/8 karat gold World Cup medal you won in your prime. You pick it up. It feels surprisingly light. Next to it sits a dusty, obsolete external hard drive. It contains the high-definition broadcast footage of the elimination match. The group stage collapse. The match that ended a dynasty. The match that ended you. You don't plug the drive in. You haven't watched the footage in 30 years. You don't need to. The exact geometry of the failed low block, the precise trajectory of the penalty hitting the crossbar, the suffocating silence in the concrete tunnel, it is all permanently burned into the synapses of your own brain. You are wearing a vintage, heavy cotton tracksuit from your playing days. The fabric is worn, but you strictly maintain it, ensuring the original manufacturer's logo and the specific raised text and textured embroidery of the national crest remain perfectly intact. Keeping the physical details of the past pristine is your only defense against the passage of time. The public doesn't hate you anymore. That is the most brutal realization of old age. The white-hot, violent rage of the nation cooled into disappointment, then softened into apathy, and finally dissolved into complete amnesia. The fans who burned your jersey in the town square are dead or in nursing homes. The vicious journalists who demanded your execution have retired. The kids playing football in the street outside your gated window don't know your name. They wear the neon boots of players who weren't even born when you lifted the trophy. To them, you are not a scapegoat. You are not a pariah. You are just a static photograph in a national stadium museum they will never visit. Your wife passed away 3 years ago. The stress of the footballing life took a toll on her that no doctor could ever formally diagnose. Your children call on Sundays from different time zones. They tolerate your repetitive stories about the golden generation, but you can hear them typing on their laptops while you speak. The distance between you and the rest of humanity is permanent. You sit back down in the armchair. You hold the gold medal in your trembling, arthritic hands. You stare at the blank television screen. You traded your youth, your joints, your privacy, and your peace of mind to become immortal. But immortality is a lie sold to young men to make them run faster. You outlasted the fame. You outlasted the hatred. Now, you are just an old man sitting in a silent room, holding a piece of metal, waiting for the referee to blow the final whistle. Level 10. The ghost of football past. You are gone. The physical body that surrendered its cartilage and sanity to the pitch is no longer the story. The legacy outlives the man. You are a footnote in a Wikipedia article about the curse of the defending champions. The game has moved on without you. The tactical systems you bled for are completely obsolete. The historic clubs you played for have been bought and sold by sovereign wealth funds. Your highlight reels are compressed into blurry, low-resolution clips on the internet, watched only by tactical historians and nostalgic insomniacs. You are a ghost in a machine that never stops grinding. Right now, somewhere in a sterile, fluorescent-lit agency office tucked away in a suburban strip mall. and one 8-year-old kid is sitting across a glass desk from a man in a tailored suit. The kid is holding a heavy steel pen. He is about to sign the paperwork for his first senior national team call-up. He is already wearing the new official Federation tracksuit. He looks down at his chest, proudly running his thumb over the original manufacturer's logo, feeling the specific raised text and the thick, textured embroidery of the national crest. He loves how it feels under his fingertips. He thinks it feels like honor. He thinks it feels like victory. You know exactly what it actually feels like. It feels like a target. He is smiling. His mother is standing in the corner of the small room, taking a blurry photo on her phone. She is crying, tears of profound joy. She thinks her son has just secured generational wealth and eternal glory. She has no idea what she is actually taking a picture of. She is photographing a boy voluntarily stepping into a meat grinder. He has absolutely no idea what he is signing up for. He doesn't know about the pre-match Toradol injections. He doesn't know about the torn hamstrings, the isolating, claustrophobic hotel rooms, or the violent death threats pouring into a glowing screen at 3:00 a.m. He doesn't understand the crushing, suffocating mathematics of XG ratios or watching his own transfer market valuation evaporate in real time. He doesn't know about the deafening, toxic silence of a locker room after the empire falls, or the brutal reality of being fed to the global press by the executives who were supposed to protect him. He thinks he is signing up to play a beautiful game. He is actually signing a contract to become a corporate asset, a tactical pawn, a national shield, a public scapegoat, and eventually, a forgotten myth sitting alone in a quiet room with ruined knees. He puts the pen to the heavy paper. He signs his name. He smiles. They always smile. The cycle continues.